It also sent out a tweet. And we're live. Hello, everybody.
Good evening, folks.
All right. You got Audacity up?
Yeah, Audacity's all set to go.
All right. I think we're ready to hit this. I mean, I've got everything up and running. Docs look good?
Yeah, the docs look fine.
All right. Let me pull up our, diatribe here. I mean, our sponsor. Good evening, everybody watching online. Hope you guys are digging it. We're going to get this rode on the show. So, all right. You over the red button?
The red button is over.
Yep. All right. 3, 2, 1, click. Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the PlanesTalkers podcast, the show by casuals for casuals. I'm your host, Will Benson, joined as always by my, no, seriously, the Buffalo Bills are in the AFC Championship game co-host, Aramis Perez. Aramis, how are you, sir?
For perspective, the last time that happened, I was 11 years old.
Well, let's not discuss that, my friend, because I was a little bit older than that. Oh my gosh, I have forgotten something. Honey, can you grab me a beer out of the fridge? I don't care what one. This is going to end well. Yes, we were going to talk about that. We got a great show tonight, but before we begin, we'd like to remind you that this episode and every episode of the PlanesTalkers podcast is sponsored by Kerwin's Game Store. Kerwin's Game Store is New York State's premier source for collectible card games, tabletop games, miniatures, comic books, retro video games, and toys, with their clean, open gaming areas available to everyone at no charge someday, God, we hope. Kerwin's provides a fun and inviting atmosphere for new and experienced gamers alike, with locations in Catskill and now on the second floor of the Poughkeepsie Galleria in Poughkeepsie, New York. You know, Kerwin's Game Store is the absolute best place in gaming. They have a great website, It is kgsonline.com. That's kitegosamuelonline.com. We are still awaiting our code, but we will be getting a code here shortly from them. So stay tuned for that. We'll make sure it goes in the Discord, make sure it goes on our site through the Twitter and all that, to get 5% off any online order. And because he's made us wait, I'm going to try to push that. I doubt I will, though. So we also want to take a second to recognize our Planeswalker level patrons. Brian, David, Jonathan, Johnny, Bell, Anthony, Steve, Mark, George, Josh, Zach, Ian, and Randy. Guys, thank you so much. These are the people that really help keep the lights on with this show. They keep everything running. They are in so many ways very valuable to us. They are some are involved in the tournament this time. I'm not sure how many got in, but we've got a lot of great things coming their way soon. If you want to get in and help out the show, and we're looking at giving some bonuses for things like the tournament, but also, some swag, as it were. Check out our site, patreon.com/PlanesTalkers. We also want to remind you, we are a top 25 MTG podcast on FeedSpot, which is an aggregator of websites. They really are pretty cool. You can go to blog.feedspot.com/magic_the_gathering_podcast to find out more. I think we're still number 14. We haven't gone up, haven't gone down. But I'm not exactly sure how he aggregates that. So it could be any number of things. So anyway.
We made a list, though. That's the important thing.
So, yes, and Captain JVA, thanks for letting us know, man. I saw that. He's letting us know that Kuka Killer and him got their game in. 5-1 land hands in a row, then game 2 mulled to 6 for a 2-land hand and didn't draw a land in the first 4 turns. That doesn't sound good. That's
good old-fashioned screw.
Yeah, wow, you got screwed by lands in Arena. That never happens.
Yeah.
And since we're still in Untap, let's see what the wife got me tonight, shall we? Oh, okay, I can live with this. American IPA, boldly hoppy, Sam Adams. So I'm untapping that this evening. So, Aramis, how the hell are you, man? It's been a weekend.
It's been a weekend. We are actually currently in quarantine in our household.
What? I had no idea.
So our little guy was potentially exposed at school. So he is home for the next 10 days.
That's terrible. Sorry.
And we are awaiting the test result.
Wow, that
and
just didn't
hopefully
even get Sorry, go ahead.
And we're just waiting for the results, and hopefully everything comes back negative and he can get back to school next week.
Yeah.
His entire class got sent home and they're all in quarantine. So
that's the worst. That is the worst.
Yeah.
And are they doing online learning at least, or are they just?
It's online learning. Yeah, they're doing remote learning for the next week, and then we're gonna see what happens. I guess there's even like a meeting tomorrow online with the school that is open to people in the district. So I don't know what they're talking about. So I'm hoping it's not them saying, hey, we're going remote for the rest of the year, which I'm kind of expecting, but we'll have to just wait and see what happens and deal with it that way. So other than that, been playing a lot of Arena over the weekend. I found something out, though, about Arena.
Okay.
I built a purely casual, threw a bunch of cards in together and just decided to play games to get credit for quests and stuff like that to catch up on gems and gold and whatnot. There really is no casual format in this game. It is, if you're a brand new player going into Arena, yikes.
Well, and that's just it. It's very strange. I actually threw it to get a non-meta deck together. I was having a little bit of fun with it too, because I was and I've been playing obviously historic. I've been playing historic because I'm sorry, standard's kind of. We'll see how things go after next week, but standard's been a little rough. I built a Jeskai Super Friends deck that's been, and I play BO1 obviously because BO3 they will obviously sideboard against it. I'm amazed at how well it's doing. I burned through gold, but you get 2 for every win, and I'm already level 2 in plat. And I just started this last Thursday, and I play a little bit after work and stuff. I'm enjoying it. It's okay, this is and it's a pretty heavy control mix. It's obviously okay, board wipe, get rid of this, Birth of Meletis and all that stuff. But it's, and, Big Tef, both what do you call it there, Narsets, both, and they're
Mhm.
it's doing okay. And then Chandra is actually the big bad, 7-drop is actually a monster in that. Like, she just owns it when you
Yeah,
get her out.
not being able to be countered is very very powerful. But what I was saying when I was playing casual, like I'm not even
Oh,
playing ranked. I'm not even
really?
getting ranked points for this. This is like going just to the play queue, and you'll go
And
against
you're
people that have
rolling
like
into
their
meta?
175 card decks. No, I'm rolling into like historic meta.
Okay, that's
I,
just
I've run
weird.
into like souls. I've run into like Soul Sisters, Mono Red Goblins. There's a lot of mono colored, hyper aggressive decks that are there, and I'm like, these guys are really competitive for like not even ranked play. And I was like, all right, well, I
Well, and
just keep playing my games and get my wins.
the salt is real as far as like, I'm in a lot of the groups online, the Facebook groups and stuff for that, and
Mm.
the salt is pretty real for them. Like, there are people in there, but hearing you talk about it, I guess I understand it, because I mean, let's be honest, when you see somebody bitching on an online forum, you're just kind of like, eh, like, whatevs, I don't
Hmm.
care. You're in an online forum and you're negative, okay. um but
Yeah, that's par for the
yeah,
course.
exactly. So, but I mean, hearing you say it now, I mean, you're a different cat for me, obviously. So, I mean, I guess I can kind of understand a little of the frustration, because that is something they bitch about. They're like, if you're in casual and you're rolling in with, tier one meta, why?
Yeah,
And I'm like, I
yeah.
get
Like
that.
there's like and for me too, it's like I like I'm looking to have fun and just cast my spells. So I'm like I'm not looking to see heavy blue permission. I'm not looking to see mill. I'm not looking to see decks that like make you discard your entire hand. It's like I want to cast my spells, and then if you deal with them when they're on the board, great. This is I wanted to go kitchen table, but like I'm playing against these decks, and I'm like these are like maybe like one or two cards away from tournament decks, and it's best of one still too. So obviously it's going to be more aggressive, but like there's some hyper aggressive decks out there, and I'm like, guys, relax. We're not even ranked.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I've gone in there with some stuff too to test it, to learn how to play it outside of ranked. If you're doing it for
Mhm.
that reason, I'm in. I understand it. If you've never played goblins before and for somehow you managed to spend all your wild cards, and why would you do that the week before a new set? But whatevs. I get it. Okay, I can understand you. I can get behind that. But it just seems, yeah, if you're like just hanging out in there, like, I'm just gonna get a win no matter what, then
Right.
you're kind of a douche canoe, and I can get behind that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I said, I've been loving, like, I did that because I was really tired of playing the mono red, like, because I have the Hazoret
Mhm.
red and I have the Wizard's red, and I kind of melded together, and it was doing okay, and the Goblin red is fun, and you know I was just like, I was playing it around in historic, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of great planeswalkers in this set, and I'm like, huh. So I kind of like started poking around, going, okay, what color would do best? And I was like, Jeskai looks pretty good in best of one. Like,
Yeah.
you get Narset
Yeah.
turn 3, you get Big Tef turn 5. It's with Birth of Meletis, you can you don't ramp, but you can at least start having land in your hand. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm loving life in that. I'm enjoying playing Arena again, and I do think that that's a problem that they're going to run into if they continue. We'll get into that to combat a little bit. Standard's been kind of struggling there, and it's kind of. I mean, I'm a prime example. I'm like, I don't want to play
Right.
standard right now. I don't want to play. I don't like playing mill decks. I feel kind of dirty when you play a mill deck, and then you'll just end up going
Mhm.
against people with 200 card decks. So it's like, nah, it's a little more fun. The other than that, it was a pretty quiet week for us. I mean, I had to work from home today because Martin Luther King Day. It's weird. Like, I work for the same company that like, but it has two divisions. And I work more for the infrastructure side, and they kind of loan me out to the correctional side. So the correctional side gets a lot more holidays. And so they were closed today. And I was like, do I have to come in with nobody here? Like, there, other than like two or three of the nurses and stuff, like none of the higher echelon staff. And my boss was like, no, 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 you can work from home. I love that. I love that so much. I love
Mhm.
the fact that occasionally I can just work from home, and nobody's griping and nobody's complaining, and so I did that today. But it was a pretty quiet weekend. The kids, and all that, and we got our one cat set up to be neutered finally, so that we could stop, refereeing between two male cats that are unfixed, because that's fun. Welcome to dude, it's ridiculous. It's actually pretty horrible. But other than that, we're kind of just
territory. So
other than that, we're just kind of, we had a pretty good weekend. I gotta admit, even though I'm a Dolphin fan, even I was rooting for the Bills this weekend, and I gotta admit, I was rooting for Cleveland. I was like, the idea of a Cleveland,
they
Buffalo,
almost had it.
I know they did. Well, Buffalo has a major shot. If sport ball alert, we need to make a bump for that. We're gonna have a sport ball alert for all you nerds. Yes, but I mean, with Mahomes like going down, I mean, if he's going through the concussion
if
protocol,
Mahomes doesn't play, if
Buffalo's
Mahomes doesn't play that game, the Bills win.
I don't know if they win.
I think the Bills win
got
that game
good
if Mahomes
shot.
doesn't play.
Here's the thing. The one thing I will say is this: Josh Allen is very young and he's untested really. If you've watched both of their playoff games, it's not perfect. He makes mistakes because he's never been there. So, I mean, it could very well, that could be the defining
even if that's
factor.
the case, though, he's like Mahomes, though. He doesn't get rattled.
No. So
he's very cool under pressure. He makes a lot of good decisions.
I'm actually rooting for them. I really am. I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah. And then, you know what? Let Tampa Bay win and have Buffalo play a Patriot-less Brady and see what happens. Like, that to me seems like the best thing. I mean, they're not going to win. Green Bay's just going to smack them like it's their job. But, oh, wow. He's like, Hippo, yes, I wish it would have been a Browns-Bills matchup. Yes, we all agree.
Plenty of kudos to Cleveland. I mean, other than a couple of, an unfortunate call that went their way, and then a couple of defensive miscues right at the end. Other than that, I mean, rule. They gave Kansas City everything they could handle.
And that rule is so
that rule kind of sucks.
It's you know what? Back in the day, that's how you do it. Okay, so you go out at the 1. It doesn't cross the plane. Sure, I get not giving them the touchdown. But, put the ball at the 1 or even half the distance. Whatever.
Yeah, they gave it to the other team at the 20.
Yeah, it's so not right. You kind of got screwed there.
They got robbed on that one.
Well,
because they also missed the helmet-to-helmet contact.
Yeah,
they missed the penalty
with his helmet. Yeah, and that was just wrong. So, yeah.
So
Hippo, I feel for you, man.
I would have loved to
have
seen it. They had a great season. Yeah. They had a great year.
I mean, nobody was looking at Cleveland nobody was looking at either team really. So, kudos to them.
They've been talking about Buffalo all year.
I know. Just
Buffalo before the season, they said because the Patriots were down, they said Buffalo's really had a shot to go in there. And
nobody expected Miami to do as well as they did. Nobody expected that. Even I didn't expect it. I was like, oh wait, they're winning.
Yeah.
How are they? What? Oh, they're playing Buffalo this week. Okay.
Miami was a blip.
Yeah, I hope they can.
They got a good foundation.
Yeah. So other than that, we've got a pretty good show tonight during the upkeep portion here now. So what we're going to go over tonight is obviously Kaldheim Previews. I mean, we've got preview cards. We're going to go through them. Aramis and I picked 5 more we like. This week we kind of did it a little. We have 3 that we like, and then we picked like 1 for Commander and 1 for Standard that we think are going to shake things up. So those are what we're going to do there. For Combat, we actually have one. We're going to talk about whether or not we feel the set is overpowered. There's a lot of talk on the various social interwebs about whether this is the return of Eldraine and how is this, I don't know that I'd go that far, but it's an interesting conversation. And then we're in main 2, we're going to go through really quick. We're going to give a bird's eye view, go a little bit deep dive into some of the deck lists we gotten for our Win-A-Box tournament that is now live. Not sure how happy I am with the tournament host, but they posted the brackets yesterday at 2 o'clock. I meant for it to go up at midnight. So, yeah, hi. But we're doing okay. So, with that, let's go ahead and get right into main.
Main phase.
All right, main phase. By the way, this American IPA, it's called Boldly Hoppy, and it's pretty much all hop. So, it's a good name. Not sure I like it, but it's wet and it's beer. So, all right, moving on. So we've got some great cards coming your way tonight. We're gonna. Oh, shut up, Siri. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. Last week I led and Aramis came after. So this week I'm gonna let Aramis go first. So we've got a few things we're gonna
Okay.
go over and then do that. So let me do that. Let me pull that up on the screen. So, Aramis, why don't you talk about your first card here, the Raven's Warning, and that's on the screen if you're watching live, folks. A saga that's multicolored. Sorry. Yeah. Yep. In your sideboard. Right. Right.
Even modern. I mean, 3 mana at 3 mana, you kind of want to do a lot in modern, but nobody plays modern anymore anyway, right? So
Right.
I don't know what
And
you're
for
even
those of
talking
you
about.
watching
But
live,
yeah,
sorry about
I
that.
really
Hold
like
on,
this one.
Aramis. For those of you watching live, sorry about that. I just realized that the speaker wasn't going through, so you missed a bit of that. We're not going to redo it. It'll be in the audio, so I will have it record. You know, we're obviously
Okay.
recording locally. This is why we record locally. All right, go ahead, Aramis.
But that was basically
Yeah,
it. Really really low cost saga with lots of value, and I think it's going to make some noise somewhere if the right deck shows up for it.
I don't disagree. What I've got, my first one I wanted to talk about was Redain, God of the Worthy. Now this is another MDFC modal dual face card. It is a white and two colorless, and I'll tell you why I like it. It's not so much, you know, it's kind of value on both ends. Like it's really good, I think. For I'm liking the Snowland idea. I'm liking the fact that snow mechanics are back. So I wanted to make sure one got in here. It's a flying vigilant, which would also go really good in your control deck, by the way. Snowlands your
Yeah.
opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped. Now, what does that mean for the dual face? The dual Snowlands are already entering tap. Nothing. But the fact that you're going to make your opponent's basics come in tapped, I love that, especially if they're
As
playing
long as they're
snow.
snow basics.
Yeah, like this is
Yeah.
probably more of a sideboard card if you're playing best of three, and you realize you're playing somebody with snow. You're gonna switch these in. But I also love the fact that even if they're not playing snowlands, non-creature spells your opponent's cast will convert a mana cost 4 or more, cost 2 more to cast. That is really good in planeswalkers, in a lot of these MDFCs as well, because the artifacts like on the other side, Valkyria Protector Shield, which is the legendary artifact on the other side of this, it says if a source an opponent controls would deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent one of that damage. And whenever you or a permanent you control becomes a target of a spell or ability, an opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless it pays one. The operative words there obviously being or ability. Like the fact that abilities are going to cost him
Mm-hmm.
a little bit extra too. I like that. So I just like the value in
Yeah.
this card. I like that it's a 3-drop. I like that it's flying and vigilant. And I really like that the snowlands are coming in tapped. I like any way that kind of hobbles them a little bit. So, but why don't you go to your next one
Yeah,
there?
we'll have to see.
Oh,
Okay. Well, I was just going to say we'll have to see how much snow takes off, but there's definitely a lot of enablers in this set for that.
right. I think snow's going to stick around a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next card that we're going to look at is it's another saga,
Yep.
and this one is Furja's Retribution, or Furya's maybe. I'm not sure with the
For ya.
Norse or Swedish pronunciation. If it's Furya, it might be Furya, as in like Freya or whatever. Yeah,
Yes.
Furya. Retribution. It's another saga, rare, for a colorless, 2 white and a black. The first chapter is you create a 4/4 white angel warrior creature token with flying and vigilance. So for 4 mana, you're getting Sarah Angel, which is already very good.
Right.
Second chapter is until end of turn, angels you control gain tap, destroy target creature with power less than this creature's power. That's kind of crazy. I mean, if you go angel tribal, and there's a lot of support for that in this set, and going back a few years, there's some good angels out there. This is a very powerful ability. It's a one-sided board wipe.
Well, a lot of the angels in the angel tribal are they pump. Other angels you control have +1.
Yeah.
Other angels, so you're already putting a 4/4 out there, and if you have ways to pump it, then it's now a 6. Now you're getting rid of anything with 6. That's kind of great.
Yeah, and a lot of the angels are already fairly large size to begin with. If
Right.
you go back to Dominaria, Lyra Dawnbringer is a 5/5 on her own. So
I loved her so much.
And then the third chapter, angels you control gain double strike until end of turn. So it's a finisher as well. So you get a big creature, you can kill at least one of their smaller creatures, and then potentially attack for a minimum of 8 on the third chapter. There's a couple different places where this enchantment can see a home. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see it in like a Doom Foretold strategy.
I don't disagree.
Sort of keep the board keep the board kind of clear, not a whole bunch of things around. You drop this, if they happen to have another creature, blow it up, and then you just swing in for the kill in the third turn. So I like it. It's very powerful for its effects. We'll see again what ends up being good, what ends up not being good, but on its face, this one looks very, very powerful.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. I think this will actually see some play, probably in standard, definitely in historic angels. But I mean, which is weird. It's weird to talk about historic instead of like modern and pauper or modern and pioneer. But since events aren't firing, it's like historic and standard. That's pretty much it. So, my second card is another. It's another saga, but shocker, this one's a red and a blue. Battle of Frost and Fire. It's for a blue, a red, and 3 colorless. And this saga has 3 things. It says Battle of Frost and Fire deals 4 damage to each non-giant creature and each planeswalker. So this is obviously going to be good for a tribal, giant tribal. The second thing it's going to hit is Scry 3, which again, blue, thank you. And then the third is whenever you cast a spell with comparative mana cost 5 or greater this turn, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. So this is a lot more blue than red, but I like it. I think it's got a lot of upside potential. Again, I think we're going to see more tribal now, obviously. I think this has kind of got that flavor of Ixalan, where, when Ixalan first came out, it was like, holy crap, you guys are really pushing tribal, merfolk, vamps, all that stuff. I think they're doing it again, which is not a horrible thing, especially if you're not going to have a core set this year. I can get behind that. Right. So, and especially because you brought back, snow. So I'm looking forward to this. I think this has got a lot of upside. The cost is high. I'm not sure how I feel about the cost. The fact that it's kind of a mini board wipe, but by turn 5, you might have a lot of permanents out there that are, especially in this set right now, that are more than 4 power. I think this will see a lot of play maybe in limited as far as like draft or, draft or sealed. But I'm not so sure how much we'll see it in standard. I could be wrong.
True.
All right. So let's go on to your next one, which is kind of not a card, but it's kind of like a set of cards. It's kind of like the idea. So you wanna introduce this one?
Yeah. So what it is, it's a cycle of, I think it's 10. I'm looking at 9 right now, so I'm not sure if all 10 have been revealed. But it's 10 uncommon lands, one for each color pair, it looks like. And they all come into play tapped. They all tap for one of their respective color mana, either white, green, black, what have you.
Yeah, I just put 6
and then they all have an activated ability.
Go
Yeah,
on.
they all have an activated ability that involves sacrificing them to get some kind of an effect. Um, I'm not sure how good these are, but they're interesting because it basically attacks a spell onto a land without making it dual faced. One of my favorites, I would say, would have to be um, Litjara Mirror Lake. So it enters the battlefield tapped and taps for a blue. And you can pay two colorless, two green, a blue, tap it and sacrifice it to create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. Now, it's expensive.
Yeah.
All these abilities are fairly expensive because it's 3, 4, 5 mana, 6 mana in at least one case, plus the land that you have to sacrifice to get the ability. But these are nice, like late game, get an effect because you have some extra lands floating around. Might as well do it. I could see them seeing inclusion in certain decks. Like I said, I'm not sure how good they are, but they're interesting. And I like the design space. I like packing abilities onto lands that don't generate mana, that make them sort of like an uncounterable thing that you can sort of stash away for later if you need it.
Right.
Like the white one, for instance, Gates of Istvel taps for a white. You could tap two, a white and two blue, tap and sacrifice it to gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. Late game, again, in a control deck, it's always good to gain a little bit of extra life. You're blowing up a land. You're getting 2 cards for it, though. And this one you can do as an instant, so you can do it at the end of their turn. They're not terrible. They're definitely going to be very good and limited, I think.
Yeah.
We'll see if they make the cut for constructed.
I don't disagree. I kind of like them. I do think the higher cost on a lot of the abilities is going to be, but in something like Commander, something this is great late game, especially in ramp. Obviously, blue and green ones being a little higher cost, I'm okay with because of all the ramp going on now. The shenanigans as far as ramp. Oh, hey Steve. So my next one's gonna be, moving on though, is Asika, God of the Tree. So it's another god again, not indestructible, which again is a little weird. And just what we need, a little bit more ramping in a way. Asika,
Yay,
God of the
ramp.
Yay! It's what we need in green. Oh, great! He's gonna build this in Commander. Awesome! Yay! We can't wait to play it. Anyway, so it's obviously 2 green and a colorless. Vigilance, and you could tap it to add 1 mana of any color. And then its little secondary ability, which is why it's in this list, is other legendary creatures you control have vigilance and tap, add 1 mana of any color. Great. Awesome. It's tubular. This is
Yay.
woo-hoo. And then it's a dual face card. It's a 5-color dual face card. So yeah, you can build a commander on this. Absolutely. Prismatic Bridge, legendary enchantment for a white, blue, black, red, and green. So 1 of each. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or planeswalker card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That's not going to be abused at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about how many ways you can get to directly put enchantments onto the battlefield. I'm sure there's plenty of ways to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could make that like, I guess you can't make it a commander, but I mean, it counts, right? The 5 colors being on the other side of the card means that this is a 5-color commander.
It's a 5-color commander.
Like,
yes, it is.
What the absolute hell? So the commander side, commander side is ridiculous. The freaking enchantment is busted. It's like, this is going to be a problem for us. God's Tribal. Shut up, Black Sun. We do not give Steve any ideas. He does not require help. All right, so why don't we get to your next one here? So this one is your commander, right?
Yeah, this is a card that I think, again, looking at it on paper, it's hard to tell exactly how good some of these cards are going to be. Again, I just think this card is really interesting, and I think it has a powerful ability, and we'll just see how it goes. And the card I'm talking about is Cosima, God of the Voyage. And that is a 2/4 for a legendary god. It costs 2 and a blue, and it has at the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile Kazuma. If you do, it gains whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control. If Kazuma is exiled, you may put a voyage counter on it. If you don't, return Kazuma to the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it and draw X cards, where X is the number of voyage counters on it. I like the idea of tucking this away early in the game in like a blue-green like Tachiova deck or AC Tyrant of Gyre Strait. You're playing a bunch of lands as it is, and one of the problems that these decks sometimes, not always, but sometimes run into is that they sometimes just run out of gas because they've played everything in their hand, and they're sort of top decking a little bit. And Kazuma gives you a way to kind of refill your hand and also store away a massive card draw spell for when you need it, since it's a trigger ability, and that'll be really hard to counter. So say you've played this on turn 3, whether or not it's your commander, and it's tucked away and it's got 7, 8, 9 counters on it. You just play that last land, boom, you just drew 9 cards,
Right.
and you're ready to go. And theoretically your lands are untapped and you've got a full grip. But that's not even all, because this is a modal dual-faced card.
Right.
So you flip her over, and you get the Omen Keel, which is a 3/3 legendary vehicle artifact for 1 and a blue. And whenever a vehicle you control deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles that many cards from the top of their library. You may play lands from among those cards for as long as they remained exiled, and its crew cost is only 1. So
wow,
you get to steal their lands.
Yeah.
And in a game like Commander, the land drops are incredibly important.
Yep.
So you get this thing down on turn 2 and attack with it on turn 3. You start going 3 cards deep every time, going, oh, that's a land, I'll take that. Oh, that's a land, I'll take that. And by the way, they don't get those cards back.
No, they're all exiled.
This is like super mill. So, I mean, this has got some.
It has some upside. Did you freeze, or are you just thinking? I think he froze. I think this is excellent, though. Oh, there he is. He's back.
No.
You there?
I didn't freeze.
You did freeze.
Like,
you should see it from my side. You were literally, you have to look at the video because you were kissing the air. It was beautiful. So what were you saying?
I see.
Yes.
It depends on where you lost me.
You were just finishing up saying they don't come back. They're exiled.
Oh yeah, it's super mill.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cards are exiled. So even if you deal with this card later, they're not getting these cards back. Even though you're only playing the lands that you exile, they're not getting those cards back. So the upside on this card is very, very high. And I think this is going to find a home somewhere. I'm just not sure exactly what strategy it's going to be, whether it's the Commander or in the 99, but this is going to see play in some Commander decks for sure.
I think it's a 99. Like, it could go into an Omnath easily.
Yeah. Any sort of landfall deck.
Absolutely. Yes. So I like it. I don't disagree with you at all. Let's see. My Commander card, and I had to get it from a different site, so that's why it looks a little different. I love this card, Doomscar. Excuse me. It is 2 white, 3 colorless. It is a sorcery. And it's destroy all creatures, so it's a 5 drop, it's a 5-drop wrath.
5-mana wrath.
Oh wait,
yeah,
though.
That's standard fare.
Yeah. Oh wait, though. It's not really. In that it is 5, but you can play it on turn 3. Because it has also Foretell, and this is why I love this card. The fact is, during your turn, you may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand face down. So they don't know it. You're paying 2. You have you could have a land, a wipe right there, which is what it is, face down. And then to turn it over and use its ability, it's 2 white and 1 colorless. So you can conceivably play this on turn 3 to wipe the board, which when playing against guys like Steve, that's a good thing. And that usually causes him to go, that's it, I quit. I'm going to be done now. I'm done. You've ruined my game. I'm out. But I definitely oh, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say was one of the really good aspect of this is I can recall many times when I was playing Control, and you have the 4 mana wraths, which are the bread and butter, and you're always a turn behind.
Yeah.
You're like, if I had just been able to play that a turn earlier. This allows you to do that. 3 mana wraths are very hard to come by, and the ability to foretell this on turn 2 and potentially have it available on turn 3, like mono red decks and other aggressive decks, they tend to puke out their hand as quickly as possible, and you're usually like, I need one more turn. I need one more turn. This sort of gives you that turn that you need. So this will see play. If there's any sort of heavy control strategy, this is going to be in there as a 4-0.
Mm-hmm. This is the commander portion. I think this is going to be seen play in a lot of commanders. This could replace Wrath of God in some decks because
usually the decks that play Wrath of God, they normally have multiple wraths. So
right.
I mean, it might be in addition to Wrath of God, or it might take the place of like Kaya's Wrath or a Rout or what have you, some other wrath.
Okay, and let's get to our big standard cards now. So these are the cards we think are going to shake standard up. Aramis, why don't you go first?
All right. So the one that I'm looking at, it's an uncommon. It's Finn the Fang Bearer. It is a 1/3 legendary creature, human warrior, for 1 and a green, and it has Death Touch. And says whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. So
wait, what? Poison's back in standard?
Poison's coming back. So here's the thing. This may be a warrior, but there are a lot of rogues in black and green that already have Death Touch. There's also Blighted Blighted Hoodfang or something like that, the Cobra from one of the core sets that benefits off of Death Touch. So I could very easily see a low to the ground infect style deck aggressive that basically runs Finn as a way to finish the game quickly, because you really only have to deal 5 damage to them with a Death Touch creature, and they lose.
Honestly,
not 5 damage, but they have to hit 5 times.
Honestly, if we do another command, a playcast with Artisan, this could be very well be my commander. Like, this has very the fact that it's a 2-drop. All right, granted it's 1/3, it dies to almost everything, but holy crap, I like this card a lot.
It's an uncommon.
Yeah, it's an uncommon, and this could be a fatal push level uncommon. Like, this could be a harder card to come by. I will be very surprised if it's not, because it. But again, this will go to combat too, because this is one of my case studies on this is like, what the absolute hell? It's an uncommon. But I can't agree. I can't agree with you more. Like, this card is going to see some play in a lot of decks. For me, my thought is mine is a 2 green enchantment. So it's a 2-drop. It's called In Search of Greatness. This card, I'm going to lay this out there now, will be banned at some point, and I'll tell you why.
Before.
This is Fires of Invention. Like, they're doing it again. Like, they're like, no. You guys don't want to pay mana for things. No, this won't end horribly at all. It's a 2 green In Search of Greatness. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may cast a permanent spell from your hand with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the highest converted mana cost among other permanents you control without paying its mana cost if you don't scry 1. That's busted, in my opinion. Granted, you just get 1. It's not like Fires where you were getting 2, and it's during upkeep. I get that, but you think it's a trap for standard, Steve? Okay. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things you can do with it. Maybe it'll get banned in Modern, because this seems really, really busted as far as getting things out without paying mana, period. Don't forget, the Once Upon a Time was a 2-drop. All right, and it's kind of almost like Once Upon a Time every turn.
Here's my thought on this card. It's ridiculously powerful. You are correct. It's kind of narrow, though, because it is only permanence. And the theoretically, the first time you use it, you can cast something for 3, which isn't all that impressive. 3 drops, not that crazy. You have to also have a deck that's very, very able to curve up
Yes.
in a way that lets you sort of chain this off. Like you have to go, 3 into 4 into 5 into 6 into 7 into 8 in order to really get the value out of this.
But the scrying too.
It does essentially that you do get to scry, so that helps you a
before
little
you
bit.
draw. Yeah.
And obviously it's not legendary, so if you have multiple of these on the battlefield, you can get multiple triggers and things can go, batshit.
Well,
nuts.
it's in your hand. That's where the upside is. It's the fact is it's in your hand. Eventually you could run out. But in essence, okay, so I play this on turn 2.
It's still kind of a mana doubler.
In turn 2 I play this.
It is still kind of something that doubles your mana.
But on turn 2, if I play this, in essence, I'm getting a 3-drop on turn 2. Because you're doing it at upkeep. So you're doing it, post untap, yes. But you're getting it at upkeep, which means you're also going to have your mana available, which you should be able to put a mana down. So I definitely...
That's going to be the trick with this, is because it's it's how everything is in standard now. It doesn't do anything when it enters the battlefield.
Right.
And because it doesn't do anything when it enters the battlefield, that's going to limit how good it can be. I don't think this card will get banned because I don't think there's going to be enough ways in standard to abuse this. Other formats, maybe. Commander, maybe for sure. But in standard, I don't know. I don't think so. But you know what? I could be completely wrong. I'd be very happy.
And now, breaking news. I have to interrupt you for something very important. Hi, Pam. All right, moving on.
Hi, babe.
Hey, if your wife is coming in and waving at us, I'm stopping the show. So I'm sorry for those of you not watching the stream. Aramis's wife popped in and waved, so I felt important to give her a breaking news because she's very important. I don't disagree in some regards. I can see some ways in the current ramps, like this could help bring ramp back. And there are other cards that'll help ramp. Like, I just see this kind of having, maybe it won't get banned in standard, but I could see it being a target of a ban. And it definitely, where Strixhaven, where others, this screams of like the kind of card where like Fires of Invention lived for a while until like, that stupid Loral deck came out where it was just, holy crap, this is horrible and nobody likes it anymore. So, and again, Steve really wants us to talk about the Red God, but the problem is I didn't get the Red God. So I don't want to go out to the web and try to grab it. So, but in essence, I enjoy the whole thing. I think the set looks pretty good. I like the idea of, In Search of Greatness, just from the whole, idea of not paying mana. Again, I like mana doublers. I really do. I like mana doublers, but who knows what's going to happen.
It's dangerous, though. It is dangerous. It is dangerous because it's free stuff, and we know where this has gone in the past because anytime any problems come along, it's always been with cheating on mana, and that's what this lets you do. So this is one of those cards that screams break me, but we'll have to actually see if anybody does it.
Right, because I think it can. I think people can break this pretty easily. Here, hold on. Let me put it in here because, he's going to cry if we don't. I do have Bergie in here. So
Bergie?
Yeah. So
that is a very good card.
Bergie is a very good card. So for those of you who can't see it, it's in a different language, so forgive me. But it's basically a 1 red, 2 colorless. Whenever you cast a spell, add red mana. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. I forget what the other side says. It says discard a card.
There's a second.
Oh yeah, the second half of that is creatures can.
The second ability, yeah.
Right, and then creatures you control can boast twice during each of your turns rather than only once. That's a pretty helpful little thing there. And then the other side of it, which is the
Carnfell Horn of Bounty.
Yeah, I forget what it's called there. But basically, discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. So it's kind of like the second part of Chandra. But yeah, it's Big Red. They're trying to push back Big Red. They're trying to bring Big Red back to the...
Well, this lets you play lands.
Right. So...
And Chandra didn't.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm digging this. The set looks pretty good overall. I mean, it's a bit overpowered, in my opinion, and which is going to bring us to combat here in a second. But in fact, why don't we go ahead and just,
Combat phase.
All right, so let's go into combat because I really wanted to talk about this. Okay, most of the set's out now. I think we have a few more days of spoilers left, or is it all out?
The spoilers wrap up, I think, this week. Either tomorrow. I think tomorrow, or between tomorrow and Thursday. I believe
Tomorrow, yeah. So we've got most of it out there. So we can see kind of what's going on, and so it begs a question because, like I said, I'm seeing a lot of talk out there about, is this set too powerful? How do we feel about it? So the question, and then there are others out there that are really like, this is ridiculous. This is the second coming of Eldraine. So, I wanted to, it begs the question, is this too powerful? Is this set too powerful? So, Aramis, why don't all right, well, I'm going to start because I put it up there. I think this set is very, very, very powerful. I think this set is ridiculously powerful. I think it's to the point where, it's going to be one of those sets that after Eldraine rotates, people are going to bitch about. But in a world where Eldraine is still standard legal, I'm not sure if it's there yet. I'm not sure if it's like busted. I do think we'll see some bans from it, but I don't know exactly where they're going to fall yet. What about you, Aramis?
It's hard to tell because we've been used to the power level being so high for so long now. It's hard to sort of gauge where this one falls in the hierarchy. Given the initial impressions I've had of the set, there are some very crazy cards out there. I don't know if I want to go out that far on a limb to say that it's overpowered. I don't think anything from here is going to get banned. I really want to be right on this one. I really do, because bans are bad for the game, and we've already lived through last year and the 12 cards that got banned from standard.
Right.
So there's some ridiculous cards in this set. You're right. I completely agree with you there.
One I just saw just now.
As a whole is very powerful.
One I just saw just now, Orvar the Allform. What the hell is this card?
Yeah, I talked about that one before we went on the air. I mean, I'll say it right now while we're sitting here.
It's a 1 blue, 3 colorless.
Orvar the Allform. Yeah, 3/3 for 3 and a blue. It's a legendary shapeshifter with changeling. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of one of those permanents, which is already stupid.
What?
It's stupid. Then the next ability,
right,
is when a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, create a token that's a copy of target permanent.
So
do you remember the days back in? Yeah, thank you, Thoughtseize. I'll get a free copy of whatever. Back in the day, you take these two abilities away, and this is Mistform Ultimus.
Right.
And that was considered kind of a really cool card. Every creature type, hey, it's a sliver. Hey, it does all these other great things. It's all the tribal synergies. And now we're like, wow, that card just is nothing compared to this. And and it's also still kind of hard to evaluate it because you have to go back and look and say, okay, how many blue spells do you want to target your own stuff with? So this is kind of one of those cards that fits into a multicolor shell of like blue, green, blue, red, random pump spell, 1 damage spell here. Hey, I'll get a copy of this land. I'll get a copy of this creature. I'll get a copy of whatever.
Angel Tribal.
This is a very strong.
Yeah,
Angel Tribal. This is a very strong build around. But but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's good enough to get banned because it is a creature, dice removal, blah blah blah
Right.
blah. It's not. It doesn't do anything on its own when it comes into the battlefield, and that really seems to be the litmus test for creatures. And there's not as many crazy ETBs in this set as there was in some of the other sets.
Right.
Time will tell, obviously, where this set lands in the history books, but it is very strong. It's definitely going to warp standard because people are going to be playing snow. Because why the hell wouldn't you?
And we need that. Here's the thing. Hot take. We need standard warped right now. Standard is boring. It's good
But
in that it's competitive and any deck can, it's all, but yeah, I'm bored.
But they have to be careful. They have to be really, really careful because the last time they pushed, instead of going just off the edge of the table, they went into the next room.
So I don't think it's that bad yet. Time is going to tell, like you said, and I think Strixhaven is going to tell.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see a lot of different decks at the top of the MTG Goldfish page. I think we'll see some snow decks. I think you're going to see Big Red. I think you're going to see Angels. I think Rogues is going to come down a little bit, which is okay. You might see more party decks. You might see a little bit more party because they have thrown a lot into the party, area. So, I mean, I'm good with that. But let's go right back into main 2 because we're coming towards the end of the show here, and I really do want to go over the deck lists. So,
main phase.
All right. Well, I'm not going to throw them up on the screen mostly because that's a whole lot to do. So, but if you want to see the deck list, they are available for viewing on our Discord. So discord.planestalkerspodcast.com. And you go there and down about 3/4 of the page, you'll see the Kaldheim deck lists. That's for our Winnabox. And Aramis, you're gone? Where did Aramis go? One moment, please. Please stand by. Yeah, and you're back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's all right. It happens. All right. Yeah, Steve, it zooms in on like me because what I'm doing is I have OBS like pulling from Zoom our windows and then putting them in here. So if it goes to just me, then it still keeps it there because OBS isn't smart, and so you get to see like my face. All right. Anyway, we're going to go through the deck lists a little bit. Like I said, you can find these all pretty much on our Discord. So let me see if I can pull up the we've had a few play already, but that's okay. We'll still go through the deck list. And we're going to kind of do it from a bird's eye view a little bit. In that, holy shit, is there a lot of like Dimir? It seems like a lot of people went Dimir.
Well, why not? I mean,
Yeah.
Rogues is dominating standard, and Historic opens up the card pool. There's no rares to worry about.
Right.
And most of the good cards in that deck are already uncommon.
Let's go down the list. Inside the Kaldheim deck list page. So instead of, I'm not going to go through the bracket because the brackets are kind of weird because people have been playing like some people are already up to round 3. Holy shit! Yeah, wow, really good for them. All right, so, J-Grow, he's running 4 Crackling Drakes, Maximize Velocity, Sprite Dragon. He's running basically Izzet, Terramander, Spike Field Hazard, Lofty Denial, Guildgate, Lightning Strike, Crash Through, and Blitz of the Thunder Raptor. Not bad. It looks like it looks like an Izzet spell. It's got kind of some control aspects to it, I guess. Like I don't see a lot. I see negate.
This is an aggressive.
Yeah.
This is an aggressive deck.
Right.
This isn't Izzet spells aggro. I mean, you drop down the Sprite Dragon and just make it huge.
Okay. Oh, hold on. So, and he's going to end up playing Kyuki Killer. So let me do that. Let me make Kyuki Killer the winner here. So that's actually the game that came in during the start of the show here. So we will jump around if I know that they're playing each other. Kyuki Killer is playing a He's playing a blue-black. He's playing Dimir. So Curious Obsession, Didn't Say Please, Dismal Blackwater, Drawn in the Loke, Slitherblade, Fatal Push, Heartless Act, Into the Story, Merfolk Wind Robber, Una's Blackguard, Ruined Crab, Soaring Thought Thief. So mill. Yeah. Yay, go mill. So in this matchup, I think he's got enough. I think he's got enough disruption. Kuka Killer, I think, has enough disruption to take J-Gro out. I don't know that J-Gro's got enough. I mean, without Nivi, Izzet's not that hot. Crackling Drake is good.
Well, it depends. It depends on the strategy you're going for. His strategy, Niv Mizzets, would have been too expensive anyway. This is low to the ground. Get your little flyers out fast and swing in for them. Unfortunately, Kuka's deck, I think, mills a lot of that away. It'll power up his Drakes and his Terramanders, but other than that, I mean, it's mill, and that's
yeah. Okay, so we have another. Oh, well, there we go. Mumbledown. He's the next one down on the list, and he's running. Oh, look, it's blue-black rogues.
Yep.
So he's running 4 Obsession, Fairy Miscreant, Wind Robber, Crab, Spell Pierce, 1 Spell Pierce, 4 Fatal Push. I think Fatal Push makes black a absolute great card, great color to play in Historic Artisan.
Fatal Push is so strong.
So, Malachir Rebirth. That's just it. Nick brings up a good point too, by the way. The other guys are milling. Kuka's gonna mill J-Gro. If he can get Crackling Drake out, thank you.
Still dies to Fatal Push.
So, Malachir Rebirth, Lofty Denial, Heartless Act, Una's Blackguard, Drawn in the Loke, Soaring Thought Thief, Didn't Say Please, Into the Story. So, his sideboard looks pretty interesting in that it's Spell Pierce, Blood Chief's Thirst, Cling to Dust, 2 Aether Gusts, Feed the Swarm, Una's Blackguard, Thought Erasure, which I don't know why you don't main. Unless you're Thought Seizing. But I didn't see Thought Seize in his either. Like, I'm not sure why you wouldn't.
Well, Thought Seizes are rare.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Thought Seizes are rare.
If you're playing blue-black, I'm kind of wondering why you're not playing, Yeah, I would probably put
again.
The
reason why is because his deck is aggressive. So if he's
Right.
tapping out for something, he wants pressure, and Thought Erasure doesn't really do that. So that's going to come in against the slower strategies, or maybe even the faster ones. Just be like, all right, pick off that one last card in your hand, or the one thing that's going to answer my threats. I mean, he's got Drown in the Locks, Heartless Axe, so I think maybe he would probably take out some of the creature removal if there's not as many creatures, put in the Thought Erasures to deal with the spells.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right about that. So, hold on, let me see here. And then he's playing Eldrazi Kraken, which I'm trying to figure out who the hell that is. Hold on here. It's not Grant. Hold on, it'll come up here in a minute. I'm sure it'll show up here. It's not Hippo. Oh, okay, so it's the Fool. So the Fool is playing shocker, blue-black
Dimir.
Yeah, Dimir.
A lot of Dimir.
So he's got it's a lot of mill. It's Merfolk, Secret Keeper, Wind Robber. So again, it's Dimir mill. So it's Dimir versus Dimir. Differences
couple
being
different flavors of it, but same colors.
Well, he's running 4 Relic Golems, which I kind of like.
Yeah, he's leaning farther into the mill strategy.
Right. And he's running 2 Ominous Seas in the main deck. So, yeah, he's rolling more into the mill.
Yeah, his is a Teferi's Tutelage deck.
Yeah.
So he wants to get that out as soon as possible. Combined with the Ominous Seas. I mean, he's got the Ruin Crabs. So yeah, this is straight up mill with some control elements just to make sure he doesn't die before he decks you.
Right. So the next one we'll look at is Black Mage, which is under Shock Jockey on our Discord. And again, 3 guesses. blue-black control, blue-black mill. Merfolk Wind Robbers.
They got
overwhelmed.
so many toys.
Yeah. It's not surprising. I mean, next time if we do Historic Artisan, I may add a bit to the ban list. But yeah, there's just a lot of it here. Or you know what? Maybe not. You can counter that. Like aggressive still is aggressive. So Shock
Mill
Jocks
doesn't hit your life total, so
no Shock Jocks playing that Mog Flunky, which is I forget which one. It's not the last Shock. Grand 21. He's in here somewhere. Hold on. Mog Flunky is under Bardo Burns. So his deck is Historic Gates. Now this has a shot. I think he already beat a mill deck anyway. He was playing. Oh no, wait, they played each other. Sorry, and he won. So he was playing a Gates deck. He's running the main things he's running Balagad Recovery. So return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Circuitous Route, obviously. Archway Angel. He's living off Gate Colossus and the Ram, really.
Yeah, Gate Colossus is very good against Milk. He's like, oh no, you put my Colossus in the graveyard. Whatever shall I do? Just put it back on top.
Yeah, and he's running Heartless Act to kind of handle removal. His sideboard has some good stuff. Cry of the Carnarium, obviously. Kazandu Nectar part, which I like because it's landfall. Obviously Narset, which, and Return to Nature. So, hi. Hello, Scoots. Say hello to the kitten. Look how big he's getting. Okay, over there you go. Thank you. Yes. All right, so he already beat that. So, Black Mage is out. Mog Flunky won. Let's go to our last two. Cat Enthusiast. And he's under Cat Enthusiast. And guess what he's playing?
Dimir
Rogues. All right.
That's
again,
what, 6 so far?
Yeah. So Enhanced Surveillance, Cry of the but really he's living on it's nothing we haven't seen. Acquisitions Expert is about the only different thing I think we've seen in here. He's running a little bit more control. He's got 3 Sinister Sabotages. He is running 4 Thoughts.
Yeah, he's more of a surveil.
He's running Disinformation too. So
yeah, this is Dimir Surveil.
Yep. Not horrible. He might have a shot, especially because he's going up against Major Dan. So Major Dan is under Major Dan at the bottom, and he's running. It looks like blue-white enchantments. Interesting.
Yeah.
4 Ornithopters, 4
blue-white enchantments and artifacts.
Yep. Dive Down, Ginger Brute, Inquisitive Puppets, All That Glitters, Glass Casket. Ooh. I don't know. Who's got this?
It's an aggressive deck. The discard would be a real problem for him.
Yeah.
For Major Dan. If he could get under the counter spells and stick something,
he needs to stick All That Glitters.
Really. If he can test Ornithopter and slap, Curious Obsession and then All That Glitters on it on turn 2, I mean, in that case, it's getting +4/+4, so it's a 4/6 flyer that draws him a card on turn 2. I mean, that's a pretty explosive start.
And Dive Down. I mean, he's got ways to keep things on the board. Yeah.
So he's got a shot there.
He's got a good matchup. Oh, I forgot. There's more. Okay, so we still have 10 more decks. Turtle Box. This is the next one, and I think is he under Turtle Box in here? Hold on.
It's Dimir.
Yeah, he's playing Dimir. Yay! We're not going to go over the Dimirs. He's playing Dimir. Yay! Yippee skippy. And Bowfinger fan. He's also playing. No, he's playing something different. He's playing
Mono white. Oh no, white
blue Azorius, but a different version.
The same deal as. Yes, a slightly different take on the same strategy. Drop some guys early, get some enchantments on him, and then just go to town.
I'm interested to see this. I'd like to see some of the Demirs get. I'm rooting for Bowfinger. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm rooting for Bowfinger on this one. I want to see some of these Demirs go out. I don't want a Dimir final. I'm beginning to feel like Wizards.
They have the numbers.
Yes, they do. All right, Magic 39975. And I think he's in here under Jacob Magic. Yes. Guess what he's playing? Control Mill.
Dimir.
Dimir. Yay, we're glad to see it. Anything popping out on you on this one? Well, we shouldn't go too far into it. Hippofam already beat him. So Hippofam is playing Young Elementals. So Hippofam's got a good shot, I'm saying right now. Hippofam's got a really good shot. He's got a lot of things that can come in under. Risen Reef is a wonderful freaking card. You know, and the fact is, most of his shit's coming in at under, 4 CMC. So he's got a good, even if he gets countered, he's got a lot of upswing on this. He's going to play the winner of Bowfinger. He can just
randomly come out and kill you out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's Bowfinger and Turtle Box. He's going to play the winner of that. He's got a good matchup. Yeah, I like that deck a lot. Let's go to Potato, which I think is under Stubby Potato. So, and this guy is going to donate to one of the students as well, Nick. And so he's running, it looks like Azorius Flyers. All right.
Azorius Flyers, yeah. I like it.
I'm down. Sideboard looks pretty good, a lot of control, but it's Healer's Hawk, Rally of Wings, Favorable Winds, Fairy Miscreant, Spectral, Watcher of the Spheres, Jubilant. Yeah. He's got the fact that he can kind of, the problem is he's playing a field of rogues. And rogues they're kind of douchey, and a lot of them have reach or fly.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not as evasive as he might want. The next one's Godok's Apprentice. And he's running Mono Red, Ramanop Red, Fanatical Firebrand, Scorch Spitters, Cavalcade. So he's playing Cavalcade with Ramanop in it. Forbidden Friendship, Lightning Strike, Rimrock, Chandra Spitfire, Pyreling. He's looking to go and do damage quick. Potato's going to have a tough fight on that. I think Teague is going to come under.
Yeah, he could just... There's a lot of damage that deck can do very quickly. This can kill you on turn 3 or 4.
Let's go to Steve and his opponent. Last Straw we'll do first, and then we'll talk about Steve, which is under Brian Straw.
Mono red.
And I like it. Again, I like Mono Red. I'm a big fan of Mono Red. Wait, I don't see Steve's deck. Where or Last Straw? Okay, yep. Playing Mono Red.
Steve is Dimir Rogues.
Yes, and Steve's playing Dimir Rogues, but I'm sure he's playing a different flavor. So,
Call of the Death Dweller. So a little bit of recursion.
Black Bloom Rogue, too. I mean, it's not horrible. Yeah, it's
solid. It's solid.
He's gonna have a.
I like the Bajuka Bog.
I think the Last Straw I think Last Straw might take this out though. Again, Mono Red comes out.
I like the Bajuka Bog in Steve's deck though. That's a nice little one-up to sort of catch people off guard. It's like, oh, I'm milling all your stuff and now you can't get it back.
Yeah. Well, in red it doesn't matter. In a lot of other decks it could.
No.
It could against the Elemental deck, right? Yeah. They've got ways to bring shit back. So finally we're going to go to Grant. He's our last one. And he's running God damn it. He's running. Is he mono? Oh, wait. He might be mono black. Mono black. All right.
No, he is.
He's mono black.
He's got Drungo Hollows in there, though.
Probably for life gain?
He's got Oh, he's got Gaia's Blessings in the sideboard.
No, he's got Gaia's
Blocker
Blessing.
Predation.
He's got Gaia's Blessing in the main. So he's looking Golgari?
Very basically mono black with a very light splash of green.
Yeah.
To get some, actually it's anti-milled tech. If Gaia's Blessing gets milled, it shuffles your graveyard back into your deck. I like that.
Oh, I like Metrostar, Andy. I like Metrostar. You're very welcome. So, as long as your name is not, what is it? Opie's boobs. All right, so that's our deck lists. That again, we only had 17 for this. So what's kind of great is we have these guys have a 1 in 17 shot or 1 in 16 shot of getting a box. I'm all about that. Nick might have a 2 and 17, but we'll leave it at that. But yeah, I like the deck list quite a bit. I'm really digging. I'm digging it. Just a little too much rogues. I think for Strixhaven we'll do something. We'll do something a little different. Maybe we will do Brawl. Although we'd have to get really creative with it. We'd have to get a ban list of some sort for Brawl. Otherwise, it's just going to be, a lot of. It's going to be a lot. Yeah, I don't know. We could talk about that. So.
Well, Brawl already has a ban list.
Yes.
So.
Well, we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll do full blown popper. So, all right. But that's pretty much it, and that's kind of our show. So let's, unless you got anything else to think, or all right, let's get to it.
Nope.
All right, so as we're rolling up our play mats, putting our cards back in their boxes, and picking up our pizza boxes, taking them over to the trash, because damn it, your mother still does not work at this game store. We do want to remind you that both Aramis and I stream Arena on the PlanesTalkers podcast channel on Twitch, as well as our show. It's pretty much a great place to find us whenever we're streaming. We do the show there and everything else. You can find us at PlanesTalkers Podcast on Twitch. Also, you can follow me on Twitch at MindCrime73. MindCrime73.
And you can also follow me on Twitch at RMECWRX, although honestly, anytime I stream, it's going to be on the PlanesTalkers channel, so look for us there, really. But if Twitter is more your speed and you want to find the show that way, our handle on Twitter is @PlanesTalkerPod.
Yes. So, and you can follow me on Twitch. Now, I really don't, or Twitter. I don't really post much on Twitter. I'm really there just to follow the real Donald Trump account.
I like it.
Thank you very much. And of course, but I do post occasionally on Twitter. But you can follow me there at WR Benson, and of course, you can always find us on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook at PlanesTalker Podcast, PlanesTalker. Oh, Facebook.com. Cheapers. Let's try that again. Just go to Facebook.com/PlanesTalker. Like and follow our page there. And don't forget our Discord is discord.planestalkerspodcast.com, where that thing is hopping right now because we're doing the tournament. So come on in, hang out with us. It's a whole lot of fun.
Finally, you can send us emails and even ask for advice if you want to give us if you have a question about a card or a ruling, or if you have a suggestion for the show. That's a great way to send an email as well. So if you want to send us an email, there's 3 ways you could do it. The main email address is podcast@planestalkerspodcast.com. So if you send one there, we'll both see it. If you want to email one of us directly, you can reach Will at planestalkerspodcast.com, and you can reach me at Aramis@planestalkerspodcast.com.
And we do want to remind you that I do host another podcast. It deals with the television show DC's Legends of Tomorrow. We are on hiatus, obviously, right now, because that show's on hiatus. But we do stream there pretty regularly. In fact, you'll see it here a lot. We're playing Minecraft on there right now, which is kind of cool. And we're building DC like landmarks. We've built the Hall of Justice. We've built the, we're building the Batcave next. We've kind of built the Legion of Doom, but we never really build the Legion of Doom because we're bored with it. But you definitely can check it out. It's a lot of fun. We're having a good time in there right now. Just look up Flashcraft on Twitch or anything else. Or like I said, I do stream on here, but you can find Legends TV Talk at facebook.com/Legends TV Talk. And don't forget to leave us an iTunes review, a 5-star review, preferably. The last one we got was in December. We read it last week. Listen, that really does help the show. If you don't want to do a Patreon, or you're unable to do Patreon right now, we understand that. But if you really want to support the show, then go to iTunes, download it on your computer if you don't have an iPhone, or using an iPhone or iPad. It's real simple. And just go there, sign up for an account, and leave us a 5-star review, just saying how much you enjoy the show. We will read them all on the show, but that does bring a lot of eyes to the show, so we really, really appreciate that. But I guess that's going to be it for tonight, so we want to say thank you. Thank you very much for being listeners and for hanging out with us tonight. We will be back on Wednesday with our Playcast, where we're going to be playing Commander. Anthony, I think, is our champion. Is he not, or is it you?
He's still our reigning champ.
So we're going to have to take him down. But tune in for that. We'll be back next Monday with the regular show. So for Aramis Perez, this is Will Benson saying thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And don't forget to leave some of your mana untapped because you never know when you'll need it. Take care and have a great week. Bye-bye. And we're out. So I think because of how I had to do things, there is a delay from when I finish speaking and you hear me.
There is a huge delay.
Like,
and you're also very crackly on your audio.
On your side.
On my side, I'm hearing all kinds of pops and crackles.
Okay, good to know. It's probably going through okay here, and it'll be fixing the audio, but I'm going to work on that. Something happened to my sound card's stereo mix, which is where I was sending everything through. Mm-hmm. And so I had to download a software one. So, and obviously it's not that good. So, yay. So let's export.
Yeah, I'd say the delay is about 2 to 3 seconds.
Well, no, it's about a half a second. I watched it. Like I'd finish something and you know. So I just had to be creative. But we'll deal
it's longer on my side.
Yes. So I'll fix that at some point though. We'll get that. I'll work on that this week, especially for Commander Craft. I mean, I don't think it'll be a problem on Commander though. All right, so this is episode 86.
I'll finally have my new deck ready by then, I think. Cards I've been waiting on since they've been sitting in the Albany post office since New Year's Eve. Looks like they'll finally get delivered tomorrow.
What the hell's going on down there?
I don't know.
All right, hold on a second. I'm going to fix this now so you and I can have a conversation. See, I can make it so that you only hear my mic, but then you're not going to hear the sound effects. So
that's fine.
Yeah. See, now it's a little better, right? We might have to do that because, it's better for us to be able to talk than,
I mean, I don't necessarily need to hear all of the sound effects unless it's like something that's going to be part of the show itself, like
the train
part
wreck.
of the banter.
Yeah. Well, or the breaking news. So I got to figure it out. I got to figure it out. So,
but that did kill the delay as soon as you did that.
Yeah, I thought it might. All right, let's take a look here.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's going to take a little time. Let's see what's going on here. All right, just looking through the Discord. So, how's everybody doing? This is the post stuff. We're downloading stuff, putting it in the drop boxes and stuff. So, this is where we talk about anything. Last week we had Opie's Tits. That was nice. We haven't heard from Opie's Tits today. So,
no, he hasn't been back.
No, I don't think he likes us. I think he thought we were picking on his name because
sad.
How do you have a name like Opie's Tits?
We kind of were.
Yeah. I'm sorry. If your name is Opie's Tits, we're going to pick on you because you're either a fan of Andy Griffith.
Well, we meant it in the nicest. We meant it in the nicest possible way.
I mean, if you're a fan of Sons of Anarchy, I'm down, man. I've been rewatching that. I love that. That's going to be a ride home with Will here in about 2 or 3 weeks because I'm already up to season 4. But I love that show. That show is dark. I mean, think about Sons is this. Like, I start out really enjoying it, and then right around season 5, which, spoiler alert, like when they kill a major character in prison, like that's where I'm like, holy shit, this got dark. And then you're like, I got to take a break. And like, this is every time I've ever done a rewatch of Sons, that particular part is where I'm like, I have to take a break now because that, and for some reason that's the only show that does it. Like when well, I think probably because they did it at the end, but when Game of Thrones, when they have something called the Red Wedding, that was at the end of a season. So I'm okay with it. I think if they had thrown that at the beginning of the season, I'd have been like, okay, I still would have been cool because I read about it and I thought it was awesome. So where are you on Game of Thrones? Have you watched that yet?
I've only ever seen one episode, and that was like 2 years ago.
All right, you need to get on that, sir. HBO Max, man.
Whoa.
Just come on. Well, I'm going to give you my credentials, man. You got to watch Game of Thrones.
It's not on my bucket list, but it'll be when I get to it. Like I haven't seen any of the Harry Potter movies either.
What? All right, I think we're gonna have to ask you to leave. I think Steve's my new co-host.
Well, especially now, the likelihood of me watching it is slim to none. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna take a little bit of time to edit this episode down though, because I'm gonna have to try to figure out ways to get rid of like the delays and stuff. But
Fair.
I may just send the Facebook audio of this one because there's just so much. Yeah, I'll take a look. All right,
Okay.
let's see. But other than that, my stuff's downloaded. Yeah,
Mine should be in there now.
I might play Corvold again. I was very surprised at how well that deck ran.
Assuming I get my new cards tomorrow, I'll be playing my new deck on Wednesday.
What will your new deck be, sir?
You will see.
No, come on, man.
I'll give you the colors. It's Golgari. That's all I'm giving you. All you're getting is Golgari.
Oh, why do I suspect another elf deck coming our way? I think that's fine.
Confirm or deny the existence of said pointy-eared bastards.
Well, it'll be fun. I think we're gonna have a good time. So, Commander Craft. What did Steve put in Commander Craft? Oh,
I'm not sure.
oh, okay, cool. Nothing major. He's just putting his stuff about like his working out, which I think is great.
That was back in October, though.
Yeah, you're right. He's like, this or something else? Something else. I sent you the link. Wait, why is Last Straw in our Commander? Oh, Commander Craft, not our host channel. Okay. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I can live with that. So
Into the Mythic joined the party. Hello, Into the Mythic.
yes, I feel bad because these people I think are joining, like trying to get into the event, and it's like, not really.
Well, stick around for the next one, guys.
Yeah.
Just a couple months away.
Yeah, it'll be a lot less time between. I mean, we're gonna have to probably set up a call here soon for that, actually. But all right, are you good, man? I can stand to go to bed a little early tonight. I've been fighting a sinus infection that's finally looks like it's starting to loosen up.
Yeah, I think everything's good on our side, which is,
All right, well, we're gonna stop the stream now, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and watching tonight. Not a bad show, not top 5, but definitely not a bad show tonight. I don't think so. I think the audio issues. Well, I think the
other than that.
Mm-hmm. So, but we will be back next week. Tune in for Wednesday when Steve comes with some broken deck and we all bitch about it. But we will see you guys next week. So take care. Have a